All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets for the college football slate on Saturday. Let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I am doing this video a little bit earlier than really I would want to. I wanted to get this video out to you guys. I will be away out of the office, if you will, this weekend. So I want to get this out to you guys a little bit earlier. These lines probably will change, but as it sits right now, as I'm recording this video, we are currently getting edges on these. So I did want to make you guys aware of them. And really, it's going to come down to whether you want to bet them on Underdog, PrizePicks, or if you guys want to bet them on a regular sports book like DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, one of those ones, you can do that as well. Let's go ahead and start out with this first one. To me, I think this is a fascinating line, and it is going to be one that I do think will get dropped down throughout the week. That's going to be Arian Smith for under his receiving yards. We can see the average sportsbook line has this set closer to 27.75. And at that line, they are actually slightly favoring the under here. The projection data is also giving him about 20. Underdog also has his yardage line too lower as well. So we can see right away that this is probably going to be a decent edge that we are getting. Now, I do think part of the reason as to why we got this line or are currently getting this line at the low number that it is maybe the fact that Colby Young was a little bit questionable yesterday. And so I'm kind of looking at that, and I'm assuming that the line just hasn't corrected yet. They do go a little bit deep at receiver as well. So looking at this yards line, I'm just shocked by it because you look at it, and you'll notice if you look at his game log that he consistently was not getting this over last year in general. Like he got the over twice last year, and he didn't play all that much last year. He's going to play a little bit more in this game, presumably, but I don't even think that is much of a guarantee. Now, if you guys are big Georgia Bulldogs fans, and you might think I'm wrong here, honestly, let us know in the comment section below. I do not consider myself a college football expert by any means, not like NFL, like I would consider that PGA for sure. This can be a team effort. So if any of this stuff, obviously college football is huge, right? If any of this stuff seems wrong, vastly wrong to someone that's a fan of that team or, pretty good knowledge base, let me know. Honestly, I'm fine with that. Let us know in the comment section. But that seems like a good bet to bet the under there to start. And then another one I want to call out as well to start this video is this one right here. Mikey Kean, I'm assuming that's how you say his name. This is a massive prop line difference. We're seeing his passing yard be off by 19. Now, it's a little bit too early to get the sportsbook data coming in, the Vegas lines coming in just yet. Obviously, this game takes place on Saturday. There's a bunch of games going on as I'm recording this on Thursday. Then there's going to be games on Friday as well. It makes sense why there isn't any lines, but man, looking at this, guys, it's kind of crazy. Now, one is projected to get 210, so that's a good kind of reference point, but the Underdog line has it at 216, and the PrizePicks line has it at 235.5. And we look at the matchup, and this is last year's data, I get that, but one of the toughest matchups as well in terms of passing yards. And he is someone last year that averaged 247, which that isn't like a massively high number as well. Now, my thought process here and the reason why the line is the way that it is I'm going to assume that this game has the potential to be a blowout. And so I'm assuming that that's why this line is going to be the way that it is. But I think that this is a pretty solid line that we should be attacking to bet the under. Now, again, 19 yards is a big difference. Probably should be middling at that point. So if this one is still available, I think you can middle if you wanted to. And I'm not saying you have to do this, but there are some discounts out there on PrizePicks and Underdog. You could toy around with trying to hit a middle that way because, again, 19 yards, that should never be happening. That's a big prop line difference. We should be trying to attack those. Now, another interesting line that we have as well in terms of the prop line difference and in terms of how Vegas is currently valuing it is going to be Parker Jenkins for his under receiving yards of 61.5. Now, the one issue that I have with this is that the projection data does like the over, and this could just be a simple case of just not enough volume coming in just yet from the books. Typically speaking, an average college football line, like I'm recording this video on Thursday, the amount of Vegas lines that are coming into that are typically like at least 7 books, whereas this probably has 2. So that is a little bit of an issue there. But regardless, I will say that the PrizePicks line does seem to be a little bit too high, especially compared to the Underdog line as well. Again, it's off by 2. Now, that might not seem like much, but that stuff is these little edges that we can gain will add up in the long term. Now, I do think it's kind of worth looking at his game log as well. We're going to see someone that wasn't as involved as you would typically want. And again, for kind of the last 5 crew, looking at his last 5 average, obviously that's not that good. That will make some people want to bet his under just naturally there. Now, his role should be slightly more expanded, but it's not like this is a avoided matchup or a matchup in which you would be targeting it, maybe more targeting it. In terms of like this late slate that we have, obviously I'm using DraftKings to kind of show you guys some of the information here. The third best matchup, but there's a huge difference between the second best matchup and this matchup, it's like 50 yards. So it's nothing too crazy there, but I did want to mention that. But again, a decent edge there for the under. And let's actually talk about the running back that actually has the best matchup, or the second best matchup on the slate in terms of the running back position. Sorry, the second worst. Sorry, I said best. I realized that probably doesn't make sense. Whatever. Most difficult. That's how I should phrase it. So he has the second most difficult matchup, and Jenkins has the third most difficult matchup. And so looking at it, his line that we're getting is definitely interesting, and I would say it definitely makes sense as to why we are seeing those prop line differences. Okay, so 4 yards, again, is the prop line difference here. Projection data has him closer to 47. Underdog line has him at 54.5, and then you look at the PrizePicks line, 50.5. So naturally, we probably would want to bet the over here. Again, potentially a difficult matchup. We don't like that. Only a 53.7% edge as well. Probably, hopefully, by the time some of you guys are watching this video, maybe you guys are watching this on Saturday morning. We're going to have better bets than this. But as it sits right now, this is a decent edge. We do expect those lines to balance out. But I did want to talk about that one because it's interesting. Like, this could be a bet where if you guys are worried about the matchup, maybe bet the under on Underdog then. And now let's go ahead and get into a bet that I think is going to be more for the non-DFS props community here that watches these videos, more so for the DraftKings, FanDuel, that type. There is a little bit of a difference there. Or just you want to bet this on Underdog, the over. So me looking at this, guys, I'm a little bit surprised at Tory Horton's line. And again, maybe a little bit of a middling opportunity here. Middling is where you bet both sides of it. Hopefully that hits the middle. Had a really awesome PGA season doing that. There was a couple of slates in which the strokes were off by like 2, 1.5, which ended up being huge. That's typically how middling works, where you really just have a few really massive days where they both hit, and that's awesome. So I don't want to always say do that, but it is something that does present an opportunity for us. And so looking at it, guys, the reason why I don't want to bet the under is because I do think he's going to go off and have a great game. I mean, what isn't there to like, honestly, right? He's kind of a proven commodity at this point, 95 receiving yards last year. Lots of offseason kind of narratives about him as well, which is you like to see. The matchup that we have going against Texas is not a difficult one as well. Now, again, like, this is last year's stuff. College football changes pretty fast, especially compared to, I would say, NFL in that regard. But man, I was a little bit shocked at this line in general. And we look at it, and it might have to do to his consistency standpoints, like 220, 130, 40, 52, 58. Like, that could be part of the equation as to it as well. And maybe this is a guy where on PrizePicks, maybe you're betting it as a demon if you wanted to bet his over. Like, I'm not saying do it, because this is a big line difference here, but 99.5 receiving yards, it wouldn't be crazy to see him have a massive game in the first game of the college football season. But at the same time, I think we take the safe approach and probably just do this over bet on Underdog. Again, a little bit of a milling opportunity there, though. And then for the Saturday slate, as it sits right now, again, we're going to get more and more bets throughout the weekend. And that kind of leads me into this, guys. If you guys want to sign up to get access to the 9-to-5 cheat sheets for prop betting for college football slate, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Use the promo code KEEPCASHING to get 20% off. And the reason I'm doing the 20% off promo code is because we reached 20K on YouTube. So I just kind of want to show my appreciation to all of you guys for that. If you guys have ever thought about using the 9-to-5 membership, check it out. You get the first month for $8 a month. Okay, so you get access to the tool that I've been showing you guys throughout this video. And again, it should be updated on Saturday. I won't be able to do a video on Saturday. So again, that's why I'm doing a little bit earlier. But looking at Donovan Edwards, I would say that this line is certainly interesting given the game against Fresno. Now, they are 21-point favorites. If that does occur, right, if they are blowing them out, Edwards should be leading them in carries, obviously, but just how much work does he get? Like, how fast does the blowout occur? Are they really vastly blowing them out? 21 points is a lot. So there is a little bit of a blowout concern, but we know he's going to be stepping up into a bigger role this year with Blake Corum now in the NFL. And again, matchup wise, we're really not too concerned about the matchup. The biggest question mark we probably have on the slate is just how much work will he really get in this game? Will he get 15 rushes? Will he get 20 rushes? You know, again, given the game script, he should be able to get a lot of work, but you also have Mullins there, who Mullins got a decent amount of work last year at times as well. You look at a couple of those games where they were blowouts, 5 carries, 8 carries, 6 carries. And so that does become maybe a slight concern, but I'm pretty content with betting the over, at least right now, with the PrizePicks line that we are currently getting. And then I did just want to show you guys the underdog cheat sheet as well. I am working on getting the updates that I pushed for the PrizePicks cheat sheet to be uploaded and imported into the underdog cheat sheet as well, so that it will flow the same. It already flows the same, but so that we have some of those those little game tabs and stuff that we can sort by as well. But I want to show you guys the board just so you guys can see it, see if there's any prop bets that you like personally. Really some decent lines out there right now. We can see one with Marks, where we're seeing a big prop line difference. So the average sportsbook line, this is actually interesting, heavily favoring the under at 74, and at 65.5 still liking the under. That's interesting. You got Drew. I don't like messing with those. The over rushing props for quarterbacks, probably not touching that one. And then just showing you guys as well the PrizePicks side of it with the full board. Again, I will be uploading this video before some of the Friday games take place, so if you guys want to just see and maybe use some of those prop bets, you can. But before we go ahead and get into the bet of the day, I do just want to remind you guys of the promo codes that you guys can use if you have never signed up for PrizePicks or Underdog. Use the promo code 9TO5 to get access to the PrizePicks code, and then on Underdog, spell out 9 to 5, and you guys will get access to those promo codes. Take advantage of that if you guys have never signed up and you guys are wanting to. It's just the easy way to help out the channel. Now let's go ahead and get into the bets of the day. So I will only be doing one bet of the day here, and it's going to be the PrizePicks bet of the day. Again, I want to call it that with Horton. I like the over better on Underdog, where we are seeing that big prop line difference. I did want to call that out to you guys, okay? But I still will be running this slip out. I already placed this bet. But again, I do like that a little bit better. This was me just trying to highlight all the big prop line differences that we have. And if we really had to dial in on the top two, I would say it is these top two. Don't mind Dylan Edwards or Donovan Edwards to get his over rush yards as well, but if we really want to dial into just two, it would be those two. Then again, I just wanted to call this big prop line difference that we have with Mikey Kean as well. This is an example of what you guys could potentially do. Now, I don't know how much of this promo you guys have. I believe PrizePicks has bumped up how much they are allowing per promo now. If you guys are coming back for the NFL season, maybe you missed out during the summer, or maybe you've never played PrizePicks before, they do Taco Tuesday, which is a thing where typically it's $25 per taco. And if you guys have never heard of this, it's sounding crazy, but if you guys have heard of it, you know what I'm talking about. But throughout the summer, they started limiting people to like 5 to 10, and it was different. Flex Friday, they started doing that as well. With Flex Friday, they give you a free bet each Friday, and if it misses, you get it back in promo codes. Well, throughout the summer they did $5 for that as well. So I'm not exactly sure if they are still doing that in football. I would imagine they are not. So if they're not, place a $5 bet on this and feel good about it. Maybe a $10 bet on this and feel good about it. Hopefully it's free money. Again, 19 yards is a big prop line difference. Now, I hope that I didn't spend too much time on a bunch of lines that might change, but that is the name of the game here, guys. We are trying to find advantages between PrizePicks and Underdog using the Vegas data and using the projection data. That's what I was able to do in this video. So hopefully it's still that case when most of you guys are watching this video. Apologies if it's not. Again, I wish I could give you guys a video Saturday morning, but just not going to happen. So thank you guys for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.